Oh. It's not pleasant.
Alrighty.
All right. Welcome everyone to tonight's select board meeting. Today's Monday, August 24th. I'm Sabrina Dunlap and we have a full board for the first time in a long time. Vicki Bram, Stephen Whitley, Steve Lux, and Alyssa McCann. And first up is Points of Pride.
You want me to go first? I can go first. I have two. I was looking at timesheets over the weekend and I just want to call out Paula Simpkins for her amazing efforts. 7 days a week, 100 hours a week, the last two pay periods. So last month, just making our summer happen here. So I was like floored with her dedication, her effort, and I'm
Mhm.
extremely grateful to that.
Yeah.
The other one is, this is a little old, but this is the messenger from July 24th. And I want to appreciate my board, our board, town's board, for not creating headlines. Andover selectmen censured by colleagues, Water selectmen trial postponed. Thank you for your professionalism and the excellent job that you do. You make the town look really super. So thank you. I saw that. I was like, seriously? Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Karen. That's nice of you.
Likewise.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna add that Dustin Country Club just recently celebrated their 100-year anniversary.
Mhm.
They had a nice event a couple weeks ago, so it was really nice to see continuing, hopefully for another 100. So
It's a
Awesome.
long time.
Anyone else? All right, next is administrative approval of the consent agenda.
move to approve the consent agenda for August 24th, 2026.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
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 It's unanimous. All right, and there's no minutes.
Yeah, we are.
No public appointments. So that brings us to town administrator updates.
That would be me. Couple things to put on your radar. So I'll start by talking about our next meeting. Cybersecurity, we took advantage of a grant to evaluate the cybersecurity in our wastewater treatment system. There's a lot of water systems and sewer systems that are being hacked right now. You've probably seen it in the news. This was an evaluation done on ours. We'll have those results, and we'll look at the recommendations next time. And also a reminder for next time, we talked a lot about the TIF last week or last meeting. And I think we left where we were going to kind of pull together some names of people who we thought could serve on the two different district boards or advisory committees. And so we want to revisit that and keep that moving forward, but that was a lot of information to digest. I've had two quick Zoom calls with our website provider. The website platform is going away next year. I think I want to pull Alyssa in if she's willing and has time to just do a quick review at some point if you and I can sit down. I think I see the path forward, but I want to make sure that that makes sense to you. What else? Transfer station sticker monitoring.
I filled it out just today, and I put myself with Alyssa so that I wouldn't be alone.
Well, we're gonna try to pair with Webster though, too?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I did add another Saturday that I could do that Alyssa can't do, so I'm solo on that one. Hopefully it's saved.
yeah, so just a reminder that we want to move that forward. I think even and a couple of the dates have already passed us.
If you pull it up here, I'll fill in my name before I leave.
It's actually in your drive.
Okay, great.
Yep, no, I see two in there. And the other thing is just to mention that the senior lunch, which was going to be the day after voting, has been moved to the 30th.
Okay, right.
So I think you all were in the loop on that one. The other bit of exciting news is our Northern Borders application went in. And the application is in your drive. It's big. But what did Paula wanted to just, Beverly just wanted to mention that this is a first step for having, it's like a pre-application. We may or may not be invited to submit a full application, but I felt like what we submitted was very strong. Budget came in a little bit high initially, but there can always be adjustments. If you read it, it really is a compelling story. The more that she got into this and the more she started talking about the vitality in Kentucky Village and the things that we could be doing there, I was pretty hopeful and pretty excited. Because we do have, what did she say? We're of a 1.2 million population in the state, we pull in almost 100,000 visitors, with events at the fairgrounds alone.
Mhm.
Never mind everything else that's going on.
Mhm.
So a lot of traffic, a lot of opportunity. So this might help us focus our energies and move some activity in that direction. So what else? Yeah, the applications were due last Friday. I don't know when we're going to actually be notified if we move on, but the actual application is due on October 16th. The other thing I had for you was a request to delay the draining of Kimball Pond. I think we go through this every year until the end of summer because it's still nice and some people might want to use it. It's not staffed. It's not, the gate is locked. So that's still of interest to the community. I think we close it down. Basically, it's for liability purposes. There's nobody down there, no lifeguard, and it is pretty far off, the main road. So, just
So it is closed.
it is closed. There was a sign at the end of the driveway there that talked about, the hours it was open, but that has come down because it's misleading, I think.
Mhm.
So, but if the board feels like we should keep it open and sort of, swim at your own risk or something like that, that would be something I'd want to get Primex to weigh in on. And
Yeah. Great.
Okay. So I think we'll keep it as it is. So Northern Borders. Oh, there's also in your drive 250 pages of bid documents for the cap repair.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
those arrived today. I've looked at nothing more than the cover page, to be honest with you.
Can you help me understand what the bid documents are? This is what we send out into the world and say, who wants to do this
Who
job?
wants to do this job?
Okay.
And actually, I think it's going to be Novus who will probably send it to a few targeted contractors that they know can do the job and have done things like this rather than the great wide world.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Okay, great.
Did I have anything that I was supposed to follow up on with you folks? I think there was a question about the sewer line. Was that in this meeting? Maybe, maybe not.
It does not sound.
I think it was something that Lauren brought up. Was there money at $5,000 for the sand for the, so actually that line in the town report
Yeah.
is somewhat misleading because there is money in that account. However, the sewer fund owes the town a great deal more money than that. So we leave a little bit in that account to keep the account open. This is the sewer, we're paying our expenses out of the general fund for the sewer. We're tracking it. The sewer fund really, it's supposed to be self-sustaining and hasn't quite made it there. That was the graph we saw on the rate increases and yeah, that's how that all ties together.
So that's the deposit, that's like the account for the sewer fees that come in, the rate fees.
It's not, it's where, it's kind of the wash account where, you know, the sewer, it should exist separately, but it can't because it doesn't make enough money. So,
Okay.
if it were, when we get to that point, it would, everything would run through there. But right now, that's kind of,
So it's the
An
fund being
offsetting.
held open so that when the sewer becomes self-sustaining, the additional money being put aside for
Yep.
future capital improvements will go there. Or future,
it's where the sewer operations, so that our sewer budget's roughly what, $250,000.
Mhm.
We don't, that's not a wash, it's a negative. So we can't run through a fund as a negative. So we run our sewer operation through the operating fund. And there's using that fund to offset it, but there's not enough money there because there's not enough revenue coming in from the sewer.
So Kelly maintains a minimum amount in that account to keep it open.
And then there's a due from entry somewhere that says,
Reconciles roughly.
pardon?
That reconciles. for
Yes,
lack
that
of a better word.
reconciles, it says, you know, I think the town owes that fund $266,000, but the fund owes the town 300 or something like that. It would end up negative. So
Okay.
she's working with the auditor as we can to make sure we,
It's an
Get the-
odd, have we had that arrangement for a while? Yeah. It's interesting.
it's the sewer fund is an enterprise fund. It's supposed to be
Yeah,
taking care of itself, and we
just has it.
just haven't made it yet. So
Before we move on, can I circle back to the pond? Are we gonna get feedback from Primex on the option of allowing it to be used at your own risk? I don't know what the,
They had before, many years ago.
okay,
I had talked to Paul about this actually a few weeks ago. And that it was advised to do what made sense for the town, but the more it's open, the more liability there is. But I mean, that's just where it was from prior. So if we want to revisit and see if that's maybe something we want to open up.
I mean, if there's desire in the community and, you know, Primex is, I guess, tepidly comfortable with it, I mean, I would be open to it, but I guess I'd be curious to hear what Primex says about,
updated.
yeah.
Okay.
And maybe that's something we think about for next summer, in light of everything we have going on right now. It doesn't really feel like a priority. And how late we are in the summer,
Yeah.
and the fact that we've
In
never.
fact,
had
it's
it
gonna
open-
rain Labor Day weekend.
Well, we've never had it open as swim at your own thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because we have talked about that when we've talked about how expensive and sort of like difficult it is to staff it. But we've never gone that direction. So, I mean, if you have time and want to do it, great, but I just don't want to
Right.
deal with that right now.
It can be kind of a gray area too, where we only own half of it. So the property line's in the middle of the pond.
Yeah,
True.
right.
So how that comes into play.
Well, I guess we'd be staffing the beach area or not,
Yeah, but I mean, then
but if something happened on the
if
other
you're
side,
swinging at your own risk
Right.
Yeah, you can't
Get it
control.
going.
Right.
elsewhere on private property,
yeah,
where's that line?
Yeah, that makes it
located.
tricky
All
to
right,
put them on.
we'll look at that for next summer.
Thank you.
Okay, should we move on to old business or? just new? Okay. First up is the horseshoe pile survey. So this is the draft we've been working on.
Yeah, I really appreciate, was it
Beverly?
Beverly? Yeah,
Amazing
you did a
Beverly.
great job of synthesizing the back and forth during whenever we talked about that last time.
So you guys talked about it at the last meeting?
Mhm.
Okay.
But your feedback had been put into a matrix with everyone's feedback, so we got all the feedback. We reread everything that you had sent, Rini.
Okay,
And there was some duplication.
okay,
Yes, that's true. More than one person said
I see.
similar things.
We currently have, I'm sorry, I was just letting you read. We currently have our waste reduction survey out there right now.
Mhm.
That's gonna run through to the end of the month. And we'll give folks a break for a couple of weeks is sort of what we're thinking, and then we'll launch this one if you are ready for this to go.
Mhm. Okay.
I like it. I appreciate the open-ended question at the end. Because we did have to be somewhat narrow in what we were asking about, you know, if somebody's got more to say, they can.
Mhm. Okay.
I think these surveys have been pretty successful.
Great. Thank you to everyone for working on that.
Yeah, I think that looks good.
All right, so it's good to go. Mid-September.
Okay. Next up is the social media policy.
I have not had a chance to review anyone's comments if you have submitted comments, so I'm gonna punt to the next meeting and hopefully by then. Assuming you gave comments. Did you give comments?
Mm-mm.
Come on, guys.
I
give
didn't have any.
comments.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I didn't have any comments.
Okay, then I will go back and look, and if there were no comments, then at the next meeting, I'll bring forward final drafts. And if there were comments, I will reach out for any clarification that I have. Thanks, guys.
I did email you comments from Kim.
Thank you.
I did-
Were they sent today?
Yes,
I have not been on email
that's okay.
today.
Yep,
Yay.
no. Look
Okay.
forward to.
Okay. Next is public art policy.
I added the changes we discussed last and I've sent it out to a few people for some additional feedback and review, and then I think I'll go from there. So hunt as well.
Well, it's not really punting, it's a work in progress. So, you know.
Okay. Well, we updated punted.
Okay, and I don't think I saw that if you talked about it at the last meeting, so I need to look at it.
Okay,
So I will do that.
maybe I'll send you the most up-to-date one.
That would be excellent. Thank you. Okay. The last thing under old business is the Farrington Corner license update.
Yes. So Attorney Warren had sent a draft, which he asked that I share with you folks and the property owners. There was some feedback from the property owner, which I returned to Attorney Warren, and he came back again with, he made a couple of small changes, I think, but basically for it to transfer seamlessly makes it too much like an easement in his mind. So this is to the best of what I think we can get, the final draft.
So basically, we're not just grandfathering this in every time the property changes hands, we will revisit it.
We need to revisit it, right?
Okay.
Because it's a license to individuals.
Okay, that's to sort of roughly keep the distinction between a license and an easement.
Right.
Okay, property owner, James, do you have anything you want to chat about with us?
Yeah, I would go summarize like where concerns were. And Karen summarized it nicely, but. Yeah, so if you look at the license agreement, the original one as originally drafted in section 6, the term. Basically there's a line in there that says the license shall automatically terminate without any further action by the grantor upon abandonment, blah, 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 or if the property is transferred to a third party. So what that ultimately means is every time that the property is sold, we'll have to go through this entire process again with select board meetings and the whole 9 yards to grant an additional license. So we had proposed modifying the language so that there was within 30 days of the sale, the future owner would sign a written assumption of all obligations. So it's basically like a built-in handoff mechanism that would enable the license to transfer to the new property owner and not make it automatically terminate. But I mean, there's also 2 concerns with an automatic termination approach. The the first is just, it's sort of a pain, right, to have to go through this process again. But I think the bigger concern was around the town. Like the second we transfer the property to a new owner, the license terminates. So then the town loses all ability for indemnification, or like there's basically the second we transfer it, the license is null. And now there's no one on the hook for insurance, restoration, or upkeep. So until the next property owner comes along and goes through this process, no one is on the hook for this system. So if it fails again, then it's just going to sit there and they'll go through this process again. But I think not having a built-in transfer mechanism to me seemed to put more risk on the town than it did to us. We just wanted to be able to seamlessly transfer that to a new owner should we ever sell the property. So there's a convenience factor on our end, but from the town's perspective, it seemed like the town was actually losing that indemnification for not having an automatic transfer in place. And then the rest of our feedback was mainly just around some typos, like Ariana's name was spelled wrong in section 5, I believe, section 12. And the Jock Belanger also updated the draft, the blueprint on August 10th. So we just wanted to make sure that the updated license referred to the revised license, which was August 10th, 2026. Everything else was good though.
Okay. I think the issue you're getting at around the automatic transfer, it's not lost on us that would be sort of more practical and easier, but I think that gets at the sort of legal issue of the distinction between a license and an easement. And the worry is that if it's automatic and perpetual, then it would be interpreted as an easement, even if it was named a license.
Yeah, I might have minced my words there. We actually wrote that the license would automatically terminate without any further action to the grantor upon abandonment, removal, etc. But there is an option for the future property owner to basically sign a written assumption of the grantee's obligations under the license, so that they can accept it. So the proposal we had was that it would automatically terminate if no action was taken by the new grantee within 30 days. But
Did that piece make it over to Will? Oh,
Yeah, and then the email that you have here, well, you have the whole email chain. He still felt like that was too close to an easement, and he cited case law in Lett versus Butler.
do you mind sending me the updated draft too when you have a moment?
Yeah, no, I wanted to run it by these folks first.
Sure.
But yeah.
So I take it you haven't seen the most recent version yet?
No.
Okay. I guess once you have a chance to, let us know, what your thoughts are.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, again, I think ultimately it's protecting the town more than it protects us. Like, we don't care, but yeah, we'll take a look.
Great.
Thanks, Jane.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That brings us to new business. The first item is the building inspector position.
Building inspector position. Do you want to talk first or you want me to?
Oh, no, go right ahead.
Okay. So we advertised for our building inspector, who his last day is tomorrow. And we had several applications come in. We set up 3 interviews. One person did not show for their interview, so we had 2 conversations with 2 strong candidates. References checked out, everything, looks good. The top choice is a contractor, like Avatar, which is our assessor, which is different, that would not be hired as an employee, which is why we're here to ask how you feel about changing how we engage a building inspector. Instead of hiring them as an employee, hire a contractor, which would be, set up a contract, have an agreement, and they'd bill us monthly or something like that, like
Mhm.
our assessor does.
two immediate questions that come to mind. One is obviously what is the cost difference,
Mhm.
right? Between that, and then the second is what would that do to turnaround time or timeliness? Would we have a different expectation as to how quickly a building inspector could get out if it was something who was a contractor versus a town employee?
I believe, I mean, we could work that out. We've been given, we've been told readily available. Right now, it's 2 days a week. I believe this group will, when available, they'll be out there. It doesn't have to be on a Tuesdays and Thursday.
So we get more services from the position? Is
I
that-
think you will.
Okay.
I also, it's about comparable if you take, I mean, it's a little more for a year. I would say maybe
I would say
5,000.
we're gonna negotiate, but
Yeah.
that's me.
I'm not good at that, so Karen, go for it. But when you take the wages for the year and you take the travel that we pay for mileage, and then we actually purchase the updated books for the code updates. I think we may be short a year, maybe 4 or 5,000, somewhere in there, 3 to 5,000.
Yeah, again,
Something like that.
I would like to negotiate a
Mm.
little bit further.
And we are getting more service. We are getting this group will do all the data entry for us, so I won't have to do data entry.
That's nice.
Yes, they will have a cell phone as they do with other communities, so they will take the phone calls, schedule the appointments. They will also, I will email them electronically all the information, is what we've originally discussed. They will issue the permits. We'll see. And then ultimately they keep a schedule of what they've done or for that particular permit. And then once it's ready to be closed out, they will have all the data entered because you have to enter each inspection. Not just the date, but what you inspected and any comments. And then in the end, the only thing that I assume that we will do, this is what I was given the impression, is just have to update it to Image Silo, which is our electronic file system. I'm hoping, as you've been in my office, there's papers everywhere. So I'm hoping that this will free up some time so that I've been asking the planning board to meet more than once because I'm just not up to where I should be in getting them paper, the zoning amendments and things like that. So I'm hoping it provides time for that. But most communities while they have in their planning department a building inspector around our size, Bow is bigger, Henniker's bigger, but I've included them. Many of them do not have the planning person doing the building permits. They'll have the building inspector doing it. So I think this puts us on that track of where you would have somebody, in this case, I would hope this company also changes our liability, I think, a little bit, where the liability is that of the contractor and not so much the town. Can you think of anything else?
So where this is a little different, one of the questions I have is, do we need to put this out to bid?
Yes.
Did they, and that's a valid question, but I'm incredibly curious, did they reply to the job posting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And
And
we,
we're upfront.
Good.
we've checked it, what?
I say good cold calling, well done.
I think they've got this niche that I wish I had thought of, but I think we had this conversation earlier today, building inspectors, like assessors. They're few and far between. I don't think everybody's out there trying to be a
Getting
building
scarce.
inspector or an assessor. But they did apply. And we've checked their references, very highly recommended, along with the individual that applied. We had about 7 applicants. And then I narrowed it down to I think there were 3 that actually had building inspector qualifications.
So would they do the building code and the zoning ordinance?
Mm.
Okay.
They will, so this is where I maybe need your wishes, but
They will do zoning violations. Okay, I would need to work with them I don't know if they have the knowledge to do the zoning ordinance part of it, like if somebody had questions about zoning related, unrelated to inspections, excuse me, setbacks, I would have to work that out with them.
You'd have to work it out with the property owner or the contract?
Contractor as to what their expectations are. Am I handing them the zoning ordinance in its entirety? And are they any question to do with zoning? I did not get that impression. I think it has to do with, I want to apply for this. What do I need to do? And I think then this is your inspections and this is the process.
Maybe, and maybe we're talking past each other, but if somebody has if there's a question about zoning compliance, does that still come to you, or does this contract building inspector answer that question?
My understanding, it would come to me. If there is a violation, it would be their responsibility to follow up.
But if it's not a violation, if it's someone saying.
No, this inquiring about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that would be me.
So that would stay with you then?
Correct.
Okay, okay. Is this one individual within a company, or are there several individuals that might provide the service to the town?
They have several individuals that work for them.
Okay,
And they are, our understanding is maybe retired inspectors.
okay,
Among other people.
yeah.
Yes, so one good thing is if somebody's on vacation, we have support. They're willing to be even in the office a certain time each week if needed. I don't know if that's going to be necessary, especially since they can do electronically all the building permits to be issued. But if somebody wanted to meet with them, definitely. If we wanted to set up 4 hours a week where they're in here just meeting with, available to the public, we can do that. But this setup is, I believe, will be really neat in the fact that they will have to have a couple things set up where they can access our software program. They, I think, have used the software program among others in other communities. And so they'll have the ability to log on elsewhere remotely and issue permits and
Okay.
do data entry and things
Yeah.
like that.
Are there any other communities that you guys know of that have this sort of arrangement? And
Yeah, I
have you heard-
spoke to two of them and they were just very highly recommending.
Okay,
this.
okay.
It works.
Yeah,
You know, it's
That's
a
good to
great
hear.
working situation.
Yeah, one is a budding community that's larger than us,
Mm-hmm.
utilizes them. A few smaller communities and I can't think of, I mean, off the top of my head, but
yeah.
they're,
How would it work if there was if we didn't think they were doing a good job?
Mhm.
I mean, because if they're not our employees, so how do we handle that?
So what we're thinking is because we are up against lacking a building inspector by the end of this week, would be to enter into a September 1st agreement for 4 months and try this out, see how it works.
yes.
And then, evaluate it, say in November and either pursue, another contract or go out to bid or do, re-advertise the position.
Okay,
Take stock of where we wound up. I don't anticipate that happening though.
I'm assuming it will be similar. I will have no employees any longer.
Yeah.
Not saying that was ever an issue, but and then the individual would report to, would be, and Karen would be the ones, signing contracts or however you guys work it out.
yeah. I mean, I think based on what I've heard, I'm in favor of the sort of trial period to see how it works. But if we're happy at the end of that trial period and want to make it a more permanent arrangement, I would be curious as to how the oversight sort of works for something like that.
Mhm.
And it sounds like from your perspective that you think this is a really nice arrangement.
I think this is a nice arrangement. I think it's forward thinking for the department as a whole.
Yeah,
Whether I'm no longer here and, and so on. I think this is one of the next steps where either you hire a full-time inspector who will take on all the building permitting and inspections, or you work with some contracted individual.
And it sounds like if we go in this direction, that it'll take some things away from your plate and allow you to focus on some things that you
Yes.
maybe feel like you haven't been able to give enough
Yes.
time to. Yeah.
And again, I'll reiterate, a good example is all those the papers piles in my office that need to be data entered and then scanned. And I think, which in light of another issue, I've done a lot in the last 2 weeks of scanning things and data entry, but I think this will help move that along. I won't have to do the data entry. I can easily scan, of course.
Yeah. I would imagine not doing data entry is a big plus. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, no problem. We just want to make sure as far as, to the end of the year, and if you'd like us to put it out to bid after, or do you want to wait and decide that, or?
So I saw you pulled up the purchasing policy. I don't know if this falls into something where we need to, under our own policy, put it out to bid.
Just the only thing I could, like I said, liken it to was the assessing, and that's a much
Mm.
bigger,
Didn't have a chance to look at it. I just pulled it up.
I didn't know what our dollar amount, and I don't even.
This
know
is
if
gonna be in the, over
yeah.
40,000.
This-
It's the
yeah.
salary line was around 40.
Yeah.
This would be over that.
It was around 40, and then there was a little, I think 3,600 or so for travel.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, if we don't have to, if they're working out, it seems sort of silly to put something like this, a service contract out to bid, because we're not, I don't know.
I think we did when well, I don't know. You had the same assessor for a long time, and then you probably went out to bid
we did, yeah.
when he retired.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'll
also we can revisit.
I think we'll know quickly one way or the other how it's gonna fly.
They seem do you agree? They seem very flexible as far as
Yeah.
how we do things versus how other communities.
Mhm.
I said I'm very open to change, so if they have something that they feel we're doing that you don't really need to do, or forms that may be different, things like that, very much open. One thing, I've always wanted to do, but haven't had an opportunity to get things together, is the residents being able to pay their fees online. So right now, or not right now, if we go with this company, they'll be able to electronically either drop off or send me the application, but now the building inspector needs to be sure they pay the fee. So they'll have to come in to pay the fee,
Right.
so,
Can avoid that. And
yeah.
yeah.
So that's something, I know the town clerk's office does it. I've talked to them about it. We use the same software program through Avatar right now. So I will look into that at some point.
I'm looking at this and it does look like it defines purchasing system to include providing a service. So if we feel like we want to see what else is out there, this may apply
Mhm.
unless we decide to waive it,
Okay.
but it does look like it applies.
Is everyone okay with moving forward with like a 4-month-ish type agreement with this entity?
Yeah.
I am. I think we need a good tally of all the money that we're not spending by going with this. I can imagine we have workers' comp for the building inspector, like you said, all the manuals. I would love a tally of the money we are not spending, which if we are going with a third-party vendor. Also, we just at my place of work, we just went from having an in-house IT person to hiring a full IT firm. And one of the things that we were told as the workers is that they basically have an agreement of a 2-hour turnaround time during business hours. Because I used to be able to just call the guy's cell phone,
Yes.
and now it's a big firm. But having that, kind of guardrail against just waiting forever made all of us feel more comfortable with the transition. So I feel like, I don't know what the right answer would be, but I feel like if you're able to get from them their estimate for, we will call back you within, or we would call back a citizen within,
I agree.
that would be helpful information as well. And like you said, at the moment, it's two days a week out of that someone's available. And then if there's a sickness or vacation, that could be even fewer. So it would be maybe more, I don't know, convenient.
And things will ebb and flow as seasons go too, so I would imagine it's going to be.
So today, one of the things, I've done is entered in what the 300th permit. Now, keep in mind that includes plumbing, electrical, mechanical, along with all others. But, so we do quite a, I think for a small community, quite a bit. Anywhere, I said between 300 and 400 a year. So I think we need to make sure timing, as you've indicated, Vicky. I've also, I think during the interview, brought up, what is your time period you're giving us if you decide to no longer, so
Oh, sure, like
Because
if they
that's-
want to terminate the contract.
that's very important.
We need a lot of
So
runway.
they gave us a
Yes.
sample contract, which has a 14-day written notice by either party
That's,
for a cause, including failure to perform duties or loss of required certifications or non-appropriation.
that's not a lot of time.
No, it's not.
So we can.
We can-
negotiate those
this was-
details. But I
this
think
was
conceptually, if we're
suggested.
aligned, then we
Right.
can move forward and then iron out the details with the contract and have maybe Will take a look at some
Yeah.
revision.
Can I just flag one more
Yeah.
thing? And you guys have probably already thought of this, but
No.
I'm not concerned. I'm just flagging that, your knowledge of our zoning ordinance far surpasses what they know.
Mhm.
And I just don't want them to interpret something in a way that you disagree with
Mhm.
without you at least knowing about it, right?
Okay.
And I don't know how you sort of work that
You'll
in.
have to, I'll do that.
Yeah,
Ironically, you say that, and I just realized something in there that I always thought was this way, and come to find out it's not, so.
Yeah.
So my knowledge may not be as good.
no, but your working knowledge of the zoning ordinance is probably better than anyone else's
Yeah.
in town, and that's a huge asset.
Mm.
And them coming in fresh, they don't have that.
Yeah.
And if there's an instance that comes up and it's maybe a violation and maybe it's not, it just would be nice if there's some communication between you and them.
I think we need to make sure that we have that communication, and I think we can easily do that.
Yeah, you mean if it's not just an automatic yes, then like Karen needs to hear as well as the people.
I
maybe.
think so.
Yeah,
Especially
Yeah.
giving that other community, there's so many other, so many, I don't know if there's 5 or more other communities, I can't remember. But keeping track of what each community allows, it's going to be so different.
oh, sure,
So, yeah, exactly.
oh, sure, absolutely.
Okay, well, thanks. and-
So path forward.
Do we-
I'm fine with the temporary,
Sounds like we're all good with the temporary.
Temporary, okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you comfortable with me negotiating that?
Mhm.
And how did we leave it? I'm sorry for the, putting it out to bid.
Oh, I think it does look like our purchasing policy applies.
Okay.
And so unless we waive it or it fits into some other exception, I think if we decide to do a permanent arrangement that we'd have to put it out to
All right,
bid.
I just wanted time wise, that's why I was asking. I want to make sure we do it, ample time for budgeting and, so we don't have a lapse.
Well, to you, what would ample time be, do you think?
Well, budgeting is September,
No,
of
it's something
course.
else, right, yeah.
But I think we'll have a idea roughly. To be honest with you, again, I think this is a niche, so I don't really think we will get many, at least
Yeah,
New Hampshire.
Competitive bids,
New
yeah.
Hampshire, maybe out of state. But again, I just want to make sure I clearly understand that, well, actually it will be Karen, but that we understand that, come October, maybe we need to start working on, or November, working on and giving them the bidder an ample time to submit it and give you enough
Yeah.
time to make a
So it
decision.
seems like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut.
No,
It seems like the kind of thing where if it's working out and it's going smoothly, we as a board could waive this policy. And if we just don't think in this case it's necessary, we don't need to muck things up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year, especially since we have to go through the budget process. So
all right.
But I
think-
do think it'd be worth knowing if there are even
Oh.
other firms that do that.
Yeah.
But it does feel very niche. And also, like
Yeah.
you said, the population of building inspectors is waning.
Right, right, This seems to make a lot of sense, in light of like how dynamic the process is and how like it doesn't fit into like a 2 days a week necessarily model.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think we can probably figure this out as we go along, since we know how important it is and we know we're up against tight timeframes here and.
Yeah, when I say the policy applies, what I'm saying is that we need to abide by that, but there's a bunch of language in there that lets us sort of do away with the formalities of multiple bids. So, yeah, we may not need to go through all of that.
Yeah, and I don't think we're opposed to going through it. I just wanted to make sure we did it with ample,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it sounds like a hopefully really good opportunity.
I think it will be, especially in light of, I think the first thing that came to my mind, and maybe Karen's also, was the assessing and how the assessing office,
Very similar.
yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It does feel like it would be a similar arrangement, yeah, where we have our person with our institutional knowledge and interacting with the
closing.
public, yeah.
Exactly.
But then we close the loop by having like a professional third party with their own insurance who, yeah.
Yeah.
Certifications and all these
Yeah,
other.
no, I totally,
Love
you know, and they're, you know, if somebody's questioning something, they go to them and
it.
so.
Good work.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
For
guys.
the both of us, thanks.
Mhm.
Have a good evening.
You too,
Thank
Karen.
you. Okay. That brings us to Waste Reduction Committee direction. So I had talked about this a few months ago after I went to a Waste Reduction Committee meeting. And the general sense was sort of this notion of like, should the committee continue? And if yes, what direction should it go in? And so I promised to bring that to the board, which I did. And then we also have the survey, which is still out there, but we already have 183
83.
responses.
That's great.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whoa.
So I'm happy to just share some thoughts. I mean, I've done some research and I've thought about this, and so I'm happy to like share where I am, and then others feel free to chime in. I think as a baseline, it makes sense to have the waste reduction committee, and I sort of view it as like, you know, there's a few different things it does. I think number one, education and outreach, and this sort of how I prioritize it, but obviously this could change, but I do think that's important for the community to have that. And I would put in that bucket sort of things like Earth Day cleanup. Like this year we didn't have it, I don't think. And I mean, those are the types of events where I think people can like learn about, you know, basics on how to reduce trash and keep our roads clean. But so education and outreach and then I think this was something we had sort of a back and forth with, I think when Neil was here, but sort of I would see the waste reduction committee as talking as a committee and coming up with ideas and then bringing them to the board. So one example would be like, should we pursue community-wide composting as an example? And I would see the committee's role as like discussing it, researching it, and then coming to the select board with, you know, a plan or ideas to recommend to the board, which then the board could discuss it and decide to move forward or not on it, but that type of thing. And then I don't know about like special programs like a hazardous waste day. I know that we take part in Henniker's, but that's the type of thing I think a waste reduction committee would be very useful in helping to organize those sorts of community events. So that's, you know, I don't want to overcomplicate it. I think the committee makes a lot of sense. And I think now that we have clarity around Webster being able to have a member on it.
Person or two.
Yeah, I think that's great. So that's just those are my initial thoughts. I don't know how others feel about it.
I agree. I think it would make sense that education and events would like get us maybe different parts of the citizenry or different audiences throughout the year. Based on some of the survey things, for example, like repair, repurpose, reuse items, like there could be, I can't imagine what it would be, but maybe something at the library where, you know, we've got people who are willing to like either like do a demonstration about how to like, you know, fix your broken fill in the blank. I don't know, you know what I mean? It just feels like there's some stuff out there that I know I don't know that I could probably be doing better. And maybe that's where education from this committee could help me.
And so far, the survey seems like there's a lot of interest in this committee and the work it would do.
It'd be nice to get more response from Webster
Yeah,
residents.
I know.
Two
Yeah.
is not much.
Two people.
Yeah.
Didn't know whether to vote them or not, so. I think it is a cheerful response to know that between strongly agree and agree, 89% of us think that we should prioritize reducing waste.
Yeah.
And the number of responses that say my household already does this is nice to see. So. Okay. Anyway, other thoughts on this? Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna ask, do we know how this was circulated in Webster at all?
Only that I sent it to the town administrator and said, can you please push this out? You know, I don't know if you have a Facebook page,
Can we
website.
follow up with them?
Sure.
Because this seems really low. It'd be great to have more Webster feedback.
Okay,
And I don't know how we do that, but just ask if how they
how
pushed
they
it out.
push it out. Yep.
But I agree that the responses are really encouraging, and I do think it makes sense to continue to have the waste reduction committee.
How much longer are we keeping this open?
End of this month.
Or-
Well, actually, if we want to reach out to Webster, and I'm not sure. I mean, we have a pretty tech savvy population here. I'm not sure that was. Was there a QR code on this one too? I think there was. Anyway. If we can get it out to more Webster people, do we want to give them a little extra time? Because we were gonna pull it down on the 31st.
So a week from today,
Maybe we can give it
one extra
another
week.
week or two.
Yeah.
Another week or two, and then push the other one out, the horseshoe, to the end of September.
We have them overlap. I mean, I hate to put off the horseshoe one. I don't know. I
We
guess
could
that's,
certainly do that. We have two surveys out there right now. I think one of them is for the capital. Sorry, not the capital, the master plan chapter. Beverly's thing is, these are supposed to be quick and quick
Mhm.
hitting, and you know. She was like, well, we can't have two out at the same time,
Okay,
but we
okay.
could. I mean,
Why don't we do it at least a week? Maybe ask Dana his thoughts on how to, I assume they have a town Facebook page. but
Page,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Well, there's a pretty active group anyway of Webster residents, so sure we could get it.
Could your parents post it?
I could post it.
Are you in the Webster group? Just post it. Do it. Go for it.
yeah, two responses just seems
Yeah.
crazy.
This is also as of,
I think it
oh,
was today.
this is as of today,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, there is a QR code.
Yeah.
They're all.
As we
relative.
move through these surveys, are we seeing our N decrease? Like, are we seeing any survey fatigue? Or are we seeing still just strong responses across?
I
the
think
board?
this one was one of the stronger ones. I think the town meeting one was 117, 120.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. People aren't calling asking when the next one's coming out, but they might be soon.
Bonnie, do you have thoughts? I mean, is this like, were you expecting something else, or is this like enough general direction, or?
I'm delighted with the survey. It's like frog in my throat. I think the responses are very telling that people want to know more and they want to do more, and it's good to know that a lot of people are.
We can't, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna pick you up, Bonnie,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah.
Good to know that a lot of people are interested in learning more about stuff. In terms of our membership, we only have, I think, 3, maybe 4 members now. Because it's been a dead end with everything we've tried, and nobody wants to stick around for another dead end. So hopefully we can recruit some new people if we have some interesting things to put out there they can help us with. In terms of education, we have done a lot of education. And in my mind, the best education is to have somebody at the transfer station at least once a week. It would be great if somebody could be there every day that it's open to sort of roam around and talk to people and give them on the spot, education. And that can include, hey, did you know that aluminum is infinitely recyclable? And if you take your beer cans over there, we can recycle them all for you. Things like that. But I don't want us to be seen as an events committee unless we get lots of people signing up for the committee that want to do something like that. Because usually it's yours truly doing most of it. So I think education always has to be ongoing, but I do think that education only achieves so much. And since we have been doing education, we haven't achieved anything.
Beverly actually was pretty invigorated by the response here and very quickly put together a couple of flyers just using ChatGPT, which might be something, just putting flyers up or bumper stickers or, catchy things like that. That might help get people thinking. Maybe not so much as events, but just flood the presence, with information.
It's worth a try.
I'm happy to, I don't want to obligate her to, running anything, but I'm certainly will offer her as a resource to, helping to create some info if you want to do that.
Yeah, and we do have $15,000 in the recycling fund. It's just sitting there. So if we have some bright ideas how to apply that, it is there.
Yeah.
So,
And can we do anything to try to put it out there, maybe on our Facebook page, that the waste reduction committee is a thing and
That they're
new-
recruiting?
new
Yeah,
members?
for members. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think that we're still the recycling committee.
Yeah.
Because we had asked the
True.
question about, have you ever been to a recycling committee meeting or do you know much about it? People said, oh, yeah, but they don't really know what the waste reduction committee is all about.
So if you put together some bullet points, like here's who we are, here's what we do, here's what we want to do. We're looking for people to join, something upbeat. I can certainly have, we can get Beverly to make some cool graphic around it or something like that.
Circulate it.
Put it out.
Same
Yeah.
way we did the survey.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Well-
well, thank you for your dedication.
Thank you,
Work on
Bonnie.
this.
Appreciate you.
Yes, we
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for following up. That's great.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is fair logistics for Townie Night.
Yeah. I was digging through old agendas and realized that I think it was the meeting before this one that we talked about Townie Night, which we don't have a meeting before Townie Night.
Oh, wow.
So this is it. I
Okay,
mean,
this is it.
I hate to break the news that summer's ending, which is like, oh.
Okay, so in the revised agreement, I think we're capped at
2,000 bands.
2,000 admissions, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna do very similar timing and the same gate, right, as last time?
5 to 8, we were at or 5, I'm sorry, it's 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
5 to 7.
I thought they wanted to hand them out now.
No, they wanted us to do it ahead of time. And we said we didn't agree to that. So.
Yeah, that was one iteration, but there was another iteration. There was many iterations.
was
So the
many.
iteration we landed on is we're still handing it out.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, I did not clock that one. Okay.
You mean you thought that their cashiers were gonna have the bracelets at the booths?
That was one of the many iterations.
Yes, and I think it was unclear how we would know when we reached our cap,
Yes.
right?
Although
Because
your new glasses are sweet. Sorry, as you're looking straight this way, I'm like, those are excellent.
Thanks. So I think Steven's right. I think we landed on, we can't figure out how to change it in a way that would make any more sense than what
Yeah.
we're already doing now.
Yeah.
And I believe we hit almost exactly that 2000 figure last year, right? Wasn't it like
Yeah.
1979 or
Something
something?
close, yeah.
So we'll do our best to be proactive with communication with the community and
Vicky, do you still have the sweet posters you made last?
yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely. I'll put my posters up all over the place.
This will be at least, so it'll be the third year, I think, in a row where we've just done the one gate. There was one year we tried to do two and it was chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
And
think,
yeah.
as much as Townie night can be chaotic, it was. So I think having the one gate is helpful.
so Blue Gate,
So, and people need their some ID or something with their address
Yeah.
on it.
Right, that's right.
and just for the record, Townie night, Thursday, September 3rd.
yes.
Okay.
Last year we had a couple of tables or one table
A tent.
and pop-up tent.
Was that all Jeff?
Might have been.
Yes, I believe.
Might have been.
I could have sworn some of the stuff came from upstairs,
Okay.
Oh.
because I
Yeah.
remember meeting here to load things.
Yeah, we got sandwich boards or something.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay,
I won't get up and just go look upstairs right now, though that was my instinct. I can do that later.
so I will,
Way to damp it down.
Yeah.
and I definitely think it's potential for rain that weekend.
So,
I know, I know, I hope I'm wrong.
We changed
But-
that. 2000.
I think
Is
it's
it-
stuck at two. I mean, it's in the, whatever the agreement is signed.
2,500 was last year,
oh,
is what we were allotted.
Mm-mm.
That's what the town website says
I don't
from
know if
last
that's
year.
accurate. Yeah. I feel like it's been 2,000 the last couple of years.
It's just what the
Yeah.
town website said
Hmm.
from last year. Their website still links to last year's page,
Oh, okay.
our website, so.
So we need a this year page.
Yeah. And figure out their link to it. And then make sure we know exactly how many bands.
No, it's 2000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
that we're
remember
sure
that.
about.
Yeah.
so
So maybe it was just.
interesting. It's 2000.
That's in the updated pilot.
That's right. It's town night, not towny night.
Yes, town
Town.
night, which is very difficult to say.
Can everyone be there?
Yep.
Okay. Be fun.
Mhm.
All right.
Interesting. It doesn't mention 2000 in there. Thought it did.
Do we have the bracelets?
Not yet.
They give them to us?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
they give them to us like the week before, or whatever.
Okay.
Just kind of this week.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I'm doing oh no, it is up to 200. Okay, or 2000.
Where's that one?
Bottom of
Said that-
page 3.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I was looking at the older one. So they're good until gone. What else do we need to coordinate? I'll look and see if I can maybe tap Jeff for tables or a pop-up, unless one of you has a pop-up.
I have tables and a pop-up, but it is branded, but I can put the branding facing the other direction.
Chasing the forest.
Yes. It's only branded on one side.
I have a tent without
As a-
branding.
You do? Okay,
Yeah.
let's use Steve's then.
Okay, Steve's got a 10.
I do have 2 tables.
Okay.
So should we plan to be there?
4:30?
Yeah, 4:30, 4:45 at the latest. Yeah,
Mhm,
because usually there's people ready to go.
mhm.
At the Blue Gate.
Blue
Blue
Gate,
Gate.
only the Blue Gate.
Only the Blue Gate.
Wonder if we can get this high school to put on their like changeable marquee, like Townie night, go to Blue
Blue
Gate.
Gate.
Ooh.
I always ask.
So we had a request from the football team who's going to be parking folks on the 3rd. They have, the coach wanted to use the night as a fundraiser and team building event. So they're parking cars And then they wanted to have approximately 25 tickets for the players and their families, the parents who are helping with the parking, to enter the fair after they're done parking.
I don't know that they'll let them in with their bands, will they? Or I mean, I guess you can go in and out, so maybe they wouldn't blink at it.
Wait, we're talking about Thursday, the third?
Yeah, we're talking about the group who's going to be doing the parking want to, after they finish parking, go in and attend the fair as town residents.
Are they
Did
town
not, yeah.
residents?
Well, that was my first,
Because it's with multiple towns, the football.
the football, and I said, yeah, I told them, I said, like, it can only be for town people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
IDs need to be shown. This is the process that the select
Yeah.
board has implemented. And so then that took out some of the other families. I don't know if you guys are comfortable. I guess,
I mean, if you want, I'll go meet them there like at 4:20 that day and like look at people's IDs and give them the bracelets if you want.
well, that's,
I think they need to arrange to let people off and wave starting at 5 o'clock to
Okay.
come get. We only have 2,000.
Yeah.
In which case, everyone else, it would not be fair because then anyone else who has anything else going on that evening would also be able to email or text or make the same request. So I believe in them and their ability to coordinate having folks take off in waves over the first half hour of parking to come get their bracelets.
That sounds
yeah,
good.
I like that idea.
Mhm.
I was trying to figure out the logistics then.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, they can figure that part out, but it would not be equitable to everyone else in
Everybody
town
else, yep.
to do it ahead of time or differently than anyone else has to do it who's also coming from work or volunteer or family obligations.
Okay, that's easy, thank you. The next thing I have in your folder is we have a request from the Hopkinton Fair folks to reduce the police department's administrative fee. So there's a document in your folder. We were, under the previous pilot agreement, charging $52 an hour for police at the fair, plus a 20% fee. In 2025, we raised that and the fee remained at 20%. I put some tax information in there for you. So in 2025, the police estimate was based on a little over 1,100 hours. This year, the fair folks have engaged a private security firm to man the gates. And our initial estimate was 731 hours. That has been reduced to 540 based on, they feel like, oh, well, we might present in our initial plan that they're there till 11, but if it slows down, they leave at 10 or 9 or whatever. So there's some discretion there. So the estimate was reduced to 540 based on the expectation there'd be fewer hours. Ultimately, they're billed for the hours they use, whether they go over or go under. So it's just an estimate. And I've got some numbers there showing you what the reduction in we have a couple of officers who work the fair and they work long hours there. Covers their New Hampshire retirement contribution. For other officers who are part-time officers, we have to pay the FICA and Medicare for them. The administrative fee covers that. It covers Kelly's hours. And then the other impact that is more or less covered by this is the impact to the workers' comp. So when we have this blip in our payroll for one weekend, that affects our workers' compensation insurance.
And those expenses are linked to hours worked, right? So there's no hard number to know what the fee needs to cover.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who works, depending on who works. If
Sure,
it's-
right, that's right.
I
Yep.
mean, yeah,
And so at 500, I mean, how can we estimate? How best can we estimate that fee to make sure we cover those expenses?
after looking at this, really diving into it today, I would prefer not to move the fee.
Yeah,
Because I think when we had more hours and that fee was bigger, I think that covered and amply covered what we're responsible for. I'm not so sure that this 20% would cover
okay.
when you start looking really into the numbers.
So you're
So-
thinking we're gonna need more than 7,500 to cover? all
I
those
think
things.
possibly,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I, it's hard to quantify.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'd love to take a hindsight look at it after the fair and
Yeah.
say, okay, how did we fare? No pun intended.
can we signal to them that maybe after this year, that's something we might consider when we have some
Revisit.
more hard numbers?
Yep.
Because I'm concerned about not pulling in enough money to cover those administrative expenses,
Yep.
even at the reduced hours, so, yeah.
So, yeah, so when you have when you have more hours, you still have Kelly's hours, for example, don't change
Right.
based on, we're still processing the same number of officers pretty much going through there. So, yeah.
As we consider the administrative fee, excuse me, what's the likelihood they're gonna come back and ask for a Thursday discount or some other further discount once the bill is sent out after the fair?
I don't know. I think if we can justify.
We're likely
what
to
we're-
ask for more discounts moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. But I think if we can demonstrate and certainly present numbers after the fair and
To cover our costs.
Yeah,
come back at it next year and revisit it, that makes more sense. But
Yeah,
that's,
I think I totally agree. I think
Yeah.
just the New Hampshire retirement number is sort of staggering. And I think that just saying, we realize that there are so many variables that we cannot do this math accordingly before the fair. We will do this math, but in the meantime, we're just at a quick review of the administrative costs, including the New Hampshire retirement system. We cannot, we have to stay consistent. We'll be positive. We're gonna stay
I'm gonna
consistent.
stay consistent. Last year's administrative fee was $16,000.
and how many hours?
I don't have that on that report. That was just the invoice.
Yeah, it's really hard to get an apples to apples comparison.
And this is the first year they've used the private security firm.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and if, there are certain things that firm can, that the security detail can respond to, and there's some things that it's gonna have to be our fellows one way or the other.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, as a town, we're not making money on sending our police officers
No.
to work the fair's private event, correct?
If we are, it's not very much.
Okay, but it's not like we're able to go and
Not
fix a
profit.
road or like
Yeah.
do something.
Replace the cap.
Like,
Yeah.
replace the cap. Like, we can't go out after sending our police officers devoting our resources to their private event.
Right.
If they want to replace the entire thing with private security, go for it. In my mind, I mean, obviously following whatever the legality is, because we are diverting our resources. We are paying our taxpayers' money to cover the discounts they are asking for. To what end? I'm not inclined at this time to offer any kind of discount.
I feel like I want to look at hard numbers. Yeah.
Of course, I would like to make sure that what we are charging means that our taxpayers are not subsidizing a private event that does not go back into our tax pool. It's a lovely event. I'm so glad it's here. So happy everyone wants to come here. It's not our fairground. It's not our event. We shouldn't pay for their police officers.
Private event.
Private events.
So you have direction.
I
Yes.
very clearly, thank you.
Okay, good. Okay.
Also, I'm very tired. So like,
Anything else on the fair?
That was it.
Okay.
So 4:30 at the Blue Gate, and you're gonna get the bracelets.
Bracelets. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. We move on to the Energy Committee appointment.
Energy Committee. So was asked, or the Energy Committee wanted to recommend Dara Madden as a member. And
Makes sense.
I looked
He
at
owns Irish Electric, right?
He does.
Yeah.
Dara.
Dara, sorry.
Good job.
I wasn't sure, based on the information on the website, what the term should be.
Okay,
So we have two terms ending in 27, 2 in 28. One that ended in 26, which I don't think she has actually come in to sign, so she would be at 29. So I'm not sure how to stagger this. So I wrote it I have two different oaths here. One is for 2 years, one is for 1 year. No, sorry, 3 years and 1 year. Thinking it would be to complete a term, or it would be to start a new term.
I don't know what was communicated to him for what he was signing up for. Can we sign both and ask him?
Sure.
You know, are you willing to do the 1 year appointment or the 2 year?
It does say on the website, the committee shall consist of up to 7 members appointed by the select board for staggered 3-year terms.
right. But is your question, Karen, is he finishing somebody else's?
Is he-
assignment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he finishing?
Yeah, why don't we just find out
Okay.
what the intention was and we can,
And if we sign everything, it doesn't have to come back to us.
Nope. Okay.
Just tear up the one that.
Then the
Sure.
other one I had was in doing this research, I discovered that, or in research for the Waste Reduction Committee, that we did not have, I could not find where Rosalie Smith was appointed last year. And I couldn't find papers for it, so I made some
okay, for waste reduction.
for waste reduction.
Okay.
That's the second one.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, any other appointment issues?
Yep, those are.
Oh,
appointments.
well, next is the schedule for the primary.
Yes. So Sarah was invited to come, she actually was sort of just checked in, and I said, "You're welcome to come," and she said, "I don't think I need to come,
Okay.
but we need to have a schedule for the day."
8 to 8, 7 to 7, 7 to 9.
I think it's
Well, yeah, don't you have to stay around and wait till everything's all signed off
Yeah.
at the end of
Seven.
the evening?
Yeah.
7 to 7 for starters.
Unless you're on the ballot, in which case, and none of us are, so. So we should stay if we can to help with ballot issues and breaking down the gym and such.
Yep.
So technically, you're supposed to be present during the whole.
Yes,
Yeah, I took the day off. I
Yeah.
get it that some people cannot do that. I just took the day off from work.
I
Yeah.
can be there for 3 o'clock.
Okay.
yeah.
If closing goes faster, I will get there earlier.
Whatever
I'll
just
just-
do,
I can't out
and
all day.
we need to just delegate someone. And usually there's somebody around that we can,
Is that usually something Sarah does? She.
Sarah usually does it.
Okay,
yeah.
What?
So it helps us find a person who can, like, I think
Fill it.
last year Ken Trom. was
Oh.
he-
Jim O'Brien,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was assistant.
Oh, it's like you have to have
Yeah.
a.
I mean.
I am
that's-
curious because, and I fully agree with all of us should be there and helping. I did do a lot of fabric art last election day because all of the bodies weren't needed. So I'm mindful of asking another body to go sit there unless they're really like they have their own art project they're working on. So I'm just obviously whatever Sarah needs, whatever she calculates is the number of bodies, but I wouldn't want to automatically tee someone up to go sit in a corner.
So, yes, I'm happy to, I mean, we are required to be there. It's
Required.
not like it's not just like her wishes, but, so I know you can't be there till 3. I'm happy to chat with Sarah and see if she's got around. And then are you?
Yeah, it's about the same.
3?
okay, so
But the rest of us can be
Yep.
Okay, cool. I will follow up with Sarah and Pat.
All right, okay, or I can just send her, reply to the email, either way.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Keep it
So. Vicky's.
lines of communication.
Yeah, Vicky, Steven, I can copy you on it if you want.
And I can be there. She knows I'll be there.
7 to 7.
7 to 9.
7 to whenever.
Later than that.
Till done.
We have crossed the midnight threshold before.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in this one. And then yes, if you could let her know.
For the state primary,
Steve-
hopefully it's not so midnight.
Steve and Alyssa
3 o'clock
can't
on.
until, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, that's the day after Labor Day, which is interesting.
There's no school that day, right?
Correct.
No.
Yeah.
I think
Cool.
For some professional development day, potentially, however, no school for the children.
No, the 5, was that, that's a 5-day
It's a
weekend?
5-day week.
A plus. A
Love
plus.
those 5-day weeks.
Really learning.
Um,
That's a joke. but-
it's like a soft.
Yeah, real soft opening of the school for the school year.
Well, they have nearly a full week
Mm-hmm.
and then they have the long weekend.
I mean, usually it's the 2 days and then the long weekend and then they're back.
It
This
just so
time it's
happens
just-
that Labor Day is super late this year and the
Yeah.
primary is when it is in New Hampshire. Although next year, I believe it'll be earlier because there's a new state law moving it up. Because we're one of the latest states for state primary. Anyway, okay, so public forum is next. Do we have anyone online? It doesn't seem like it. But if anyone.
We had
wants-
people, but they're gone.
Yeah, there were
Okay.
people
Oh.
up there.
Bye.
If anyone present wishes to speak, Bonnie.
I should have thought of this when I was up here before. But I put together a spreadsheet, which I call Green Bag Postmortem. And it has a lot of data in it. And I would love to present it to you guys at some point because I think we can learn a lot about unit-based pricing. And it does demonstrate that we did a lot better when we were selling green bags than when we stopped. Because our percent of recycling has just gone down, down, down. And that's in relation to, and the green bags sold going down, the amount going to the landfill goes up.
And does that take into account the discontinued recycling programs?
What discontinued recycling?
So hard plastics was discontinued. Number 5, plastic was discontinued, not by the town's choice, by the broader recycling community.
I don't really know.
Okay.
Have to talk about that. But I would really like to present it at some point. However, I'm not an Excel wizard. And I would be tickled pink if somebody would be a second set of eyes on this. Because as they say, it's a lot easier to deconstruct than to construct. And the last thing I want to do is, put a bunch of numbers out there and somebody says, well, that's wrong, that's wrong. I would really like to have some backup, but can you guys suggest any way that we could do that?
You can send it my way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know how fancy your spreadsheet is, but just,
It's not fancy.
my skills are limited, but yeah, I think I have.
It's red, green, and black.
That's about my speed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bonnie, for putting that together.
Can I ask a question about, because Liz Gilmore was in today, and she is currently an alternate, but she's willing to be a full member. Are we going to be looking
How
at,
do we do that?
well, are we going to be looking at the composition of, or not the composition, but how many members are on the committee? Is that part of what we were talking about earlier, maybe? It was more
Doesn't it?
mission and direction, and yes, we still can gain value from this committee, but do we want to,
Revisit the number? Is that what you're saying? 'Cause isn't it already set?
is it?
To my knowledge, we never had
Oh, okay.
a given number of people to have on.
Oh.
So just any.
Perhaps we should, as we try to recruit new people.
I mean, we also sort
But-
of have a goal of looking at our committees and stuff.
But also wouldn't, separate from the direction of the committee, where are we at with Webster and the official, being able to officially appoint members from Webster onto this committee?
Really sure. That's a really good question.
because that to me is all tied up together. I know today we were just talking about the results of the survey and the direction of the committee.
I mean, how many members should be on the committee and how, you know, if we allocate, and we can't say we allocate because it's now a joint committee.
Yeah.
How many seats? What is an appropriate way to have that conversation?
I think Webster needs to prove their interest. 2 responses. Come on, guys.
Big jab.
Well, I,
Is that a waste reduction committee conversation? That they then bring back to the board and say, here's sort of how we see ourselves structured?
I'm open to whatever people think the best path forward is. I mean, I think that makes sense. That they would weigh in on
Yeah,
what they think makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that sound reasonable to you, Bonnie? That-
7 would be great.
Yeah,
I think that was our number for a long time.
7 total.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that seems reasonable to me. So in theory, we'd have 5 or 6 from Hopkinton and 1 from Webster.
yeah, 1 or 2.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Why don't we go with that?
5-2. split.
Yeah, unless people come forward with some compelling argument otherwise, and we can reconsider, but have that. And put out a note that they're looking for members.
I think 5 to
But-
7 active members for the size of our town and the number of committees we have would be an ideal number to hit.
So we have Bonnie, Rosalie, Mary Carroll, Patricia LaPrey, and Lynn Haney. That's 6.
No, Lynn
It's 5.
is off.
Oh, Lynn's off, okay.
Is Pat still?
That's on.
Pat's on, okay. And Liz is an alternate, okay.
Who would like to be a full?
Oh, good.
So
Does
if,
that leave enough space for, or are we just talking 7 in the Hopkinton contingent?
7.
I was thinking 7 total.
Wait, so have you heard from, there's a person from Webster who was interested, right?
Mary Jo McGowan.
Oh, okay.
Karen, didn't you say that she was actually appointed by our select board a couple of years ago?
Ours, yeah, I think I saw the paperwork. Like,
Oh, so do we know if she's interested and wants to be on for Webster?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then we have you, Rosalie, Mary Carroll,
That's 6.
Pat, Liz, plus Webster. Okay,
for 2 for Webster, or do?
1
or
for
just
Webster.
one?
I think you
Okay.
counted the Webster person twice.
So maybe we try to get 1 more person for Webster.
That would closely match the split in the money,
True,
Yeah,
1/4, 3/4, so.
okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Sounds good.
I will revamp Liz's appointment paper and make her a full.
Okay.
person.
She need to come back in.
No, it'll go before these guys next meeting. And then she can come in.
We still have a public forum.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you,
I
buddy.
have one brief thing. Scott Clay, Bound Tree Road. Just a follow-up. Last year, I was turned away from the hazardous waste collection. They they'd run out of room. So I've been storing toxic waste now ever since then. And what I asked the board was whether or not we could add either a second day or increase the budget so that town residents can get rid of this stuff in the proper way. I mean, I think we all want to do the right thing with this nasty material. I mean, I'm afraid it's going to start dissolving the containers that it's in. So I've got it in a second container in case the first container fails. This weed killer, which wasn't mine, but I inherited it. I just want to get rid of it, but
yeah,
they couldn't take it because they'd already taken all the weed killer they could take.
Weren't we gonna discuss the Henniker, whether we could increase the amount or the hours or something? I remember.
We had a conversation with Webster or Henniker and they said, well, how'd you guys like to run it next year?
It's expensive, as I remember. It's
Oh.
it's an expense that we just have to commit to
Right.
and the voters need to pass.
They
It's
said,
good reason though, but yeah.
they asked if we would run it like really we're asking, or just like,
She was serious.
oh, okay.
Sure, they'd love to
Their
pass
town
the
administrator,
expense.
yeah.
costs.
And
Or,
so-
or, I mean, I think, isn't the expense
It's a
split out?
budgeted amount, and
Yeah.
once they reach the budgeted amount, they stop taking in hazardous waste, which is why Jolene says to go early. And last year, I believe you said the budget was increasing by 2K.
I think so, yeah.
And that was when Scott came and asked about this, and you said the next one, there'll be 2K more. And Jolene communicates every time that historically, it doesn't matter how much money we throw at it, it's going to run out
Yeah.
early in the day.
So,
Is it Clean Harbors? Is that who we hire? Like, that's who it was last year, I think.
yeah, Henniker organizes the whole thing.
I see.
Yep.
Could we do it, or is it?
Yeah, could
something
we do it
really-
ourselves?
We could, yeah, let's explore that. I can talk to Jolene and see.
Okay.
Is it in September? I feel like when do we usually have
Was it-
hazardous waste day?
October, I thought,
October?
last year.
So I don't know that we could do it for this year. I think.
Yeah.
we're talking about
Yeah, I agree.
this year.
Yeah, yeah. But
27.
if we increase the amount of money we're putting toward it this year, at least we'll get a few more nasty substances out of our midst. I really need to go to the hazardous waste.
Yeah, well, I worry, I would never do it, but I worry about some people might get tired of waiting and just, dig a hole in the backyard or, dump it
Definitely.
along the road somewhere down a sewer grate. We've had enough problems with the sewers in town,
Yeah.
So
Why are you giving them ideas on a recorded video? This is on YouTube.
That's what I,
All of them.
well,
sorry,
you
side
never
note.
know. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
YouTubers are out there.
Evening, everyone. Lauren Conway, 86 Maple Street. I guess to piggyback on this waste reduction, and if in the event they get jammed up and you get turned away, is there any literature or any direction where people could go and unload the stuff at a cost to themselves just to get rid of it? Are there any facilities that would take certain things? I know there's a place in Goffstown that takes fluorescent light bulbs, which are a thing. I could get that name for you. I have the card, but they recycle computers and stuff too. And that is considered hazard waste. And yeah, you pay, I think it's 50 cents a foot on. So if you have a 4-foot light bulb, it's $2.
Not aware, but I don't know if anybody else is.
But between
No.
researching this, maybe there's somewhere, people could drop it. That might be a nice alternative. It's you bundled it up and then like, oh, bummer, you can't drop it. And do you sit on it for a year or go spend $30 at wherever land and dispose of your stuff properly? Just food for thought. There may be no place locally. I don't know the answer, but I do know fluorescent lights are, I think we can take so many out the transfer station, but I know you can't bulk drop. Back to the waste reduction thing, one of the largest wastes, and it kind of went with what Vicky was saying with upcycling and stuff, often people will drop items of still potential use near the hopper, and then probably at the end of the day, they just need to filter it out. Maybe waste reduction with their 15,000 could expand that kind of swap shop thing over there. I don't know that they have it sounds like they don't have a gym and committee, but I often see things there that are duplicates of things I have that maybe if I didn't have one, I would grab it, but I don't need another. So I don't know. Just food for thought. There's your last pivot point of waste reduction. If someone really could use it somewhere and it could get saved for another day for another viewing. And it seems like every time I go to the transfer station, that metal box is never open. So I go on Saturday probably to recycle at some point, and it's
open on Mondays from 9 to 11 because there's one volunteer who runs it. She posts fairly frequently.
yeah, I've seen the stuff, but
additional
I'm not gonna.
volunteers. Not
Yeah,
yet.
go while I'm working.
It's like, I have 2 extra hours and would like to do something really great. And all of the Facebook groups, the person who coordinates it is always posting saying, if you're interested, let me know. You can unlock it and have it open. So
I would think if you really want to reduce waste, that would be a key opportunity. If people want to take stuff and even if they want to put it in their yard, whatever they want to do with it, if it's not going in the hopper and it's getting reused, then that seems like there's clearly decent secondhandy yard sale item. End of a yard sale, people are done and they bring it there, it's sitting there. So that was just my food for thought on that. And then just lastly, on behalf of the Friends of the Spirit Skate Park, I'm hoping I can get a public appointment, not for this next coming meeting, but the second meeting in September with the select board. And we would like to do a basic slideshow, maybe with a little bit of financials to give you what we've put into it with the donation, and hope you receive our donation and what else we're up to and our goals and whatnot. And, 10 minutes or so, and then maybe some questions, and a couple other people from the committee might want to speak, but we're inching up on 2 years on this. So, and 1 year as a 501c3. So we wanted to,
September 28th?
yeah, is that the date, the September
Second meeting, yep.
September 28th on the public appointment? Yeah, that would be fantastic.
In there.
Thank you. That's it for me. Thank you. I'll be a ballot counter, so I'll be there.
Just going back to hazardous waste on the DES website, they do talk about matching grants for municipalities for helping to offset the cost of hosting a hazardous waste day. However, if you dig into their guidance, all of their guidance for residents or people moving says, contact your local town or city. So that's cool.
So I think Diane did mention that they do apply for that grant, and that is helping to fund our joint hazardous waste day.
So just saying, if we were to explore ourselves,
Yep.
a portion of it we'd have to take into account is applying for grants to offset the
Yep.
costs. That do seem to be available, but I'm not finding any other way to dispose. It all just says like, contact your town and find out when your next hazardous waste day is.
Yeah, it says, for more information, contact the Department of Environmental Services.
They
but
do have a
that
1-800 number.
Yeah, they're not gonna say, yeah, bring your, disinfectant or whatever to them. Okay, just like 30 seconds of a story. During the pandemic, during the crisis, I bought what I thought were individual packets of hand sanitizer, and they were actually to sanitize hot tubs. So a little packet this big would kill you.
Wow.
And I have a lot of it. Yeah.
Vicky, if you were to put it, Vicky, if you were to put it into like a 30-gallon drum of water, would that dilute it enough to then use it as a sanitizer? Like, we can talk about this later, but I have thoughts. I have ideas.
Yeah, if you want to just use like a whisper of it and an insane amount of water, yes, I think you can.
Safe.
My God. Well, I'm glad you discovered that it was like toxic for
Oh, yeah.
hand use before you. Okay.
Didn't have any hands left.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Maybe.
I have one quick question. Do we need to vote for you guys to authorize me to enter into an agreement with?
Sure.
A 4-month agreement? I
What
think
is the
that
name of the vendor?
The individual is Bob Garside. I think it's Chapter 1 LLC.
Okay, the building inspectors?
Yeah.
I move to authorize the town administrator to enter into a 4-month agreement with the contract building inspector firm,
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1,
Can we just say like short term, just in case it's not exactly.
Sure.
Okay.
short term.
Short term.
Yeah, in case you need to wiggle.
Seconded.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Make sure to.
Now I'm
thank them-
official. What?
Thank the building inspector. You said tomorrow's the last day?
Tomorrow's his last day, yes, yep.
Okay, does anyone have anything for other? And board committee updates, I did not meet this.
Do we have a TIF meeting next week?
I don't know.
Okay.
Great question.
I mean, I think at that point, we're just gonna be,
I thought we were, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
For the planning board, I don't want to make any promises, but it seems like the amendments being potentially after going through public hearing and getting feedback, but potentially that are in draft for town voting will be around our conservation subdivision and continuing to tighten up language so that the language supports the type of conservation subdivision we want to see and encourage in the town. And there's been a lot of talk about like how to simultaneously encourage the type we're looking for while also simplifying it to make sure it's not scary, intimidating to do, but also doesn't result in 8 houses just plopped along the side of a major road. So, and then the other one would be the housing committee's recommendations to some changes to our table of use. That'll also go through.
What's a
Public
table of
hearing.
use?
The table of use is like what's allowed in what zone.
Okay, sure. Yeah. You mean like chicken coop? Yes, in R1. Yeah.
Yes, I'm relatively sure that's actually not covered, but that is a great example of something that shouldn't cause a kerfluffle in this moment in time. But yeah, that seemed to be the only things that have been submitted. No other committees have submitted requests or amendments at this time to the planning board.
All right, anything else? We have 2 non-publics. So once we go into non-public afterwards, we will adjourn and not conduct any other business. So I would move, we go into non-public under RSA 91A3 to C and E, reputation and legal. And it's a roll call. A second?
That's
Second,
yeah.
okay. Vicky?
Yes.
Stephen?
Yes.
I mean, yes?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you to everyone who joined